yes, you. Are you a middle-aged boomer on your third can of Red Bull? Or maybe you love sucking down them big old cans of Monster? And that's okay. It's okay to be a little gay. It's okay. I won't judge. I mean, I will a little, but that's okay. You might as well use those caffeine shakes to your advantage and get yourself a copy of Demon Siege today. Now, sorry about that little bit of ad read, and doubly sorry for the fan in the background. It is summer, it is hot, it is humid, and I am not turning it off. I guess we're just gonna have to deal with that. So, Mr. Dapperton reached out to me again for another little art project for his well, I guess it's out now game. Now on Steam. Go out there and get yourself a copy. Currently on sale for $2.69 giggity. So yeah, it's something else to check out while you're out and about on Steam looking for a good old fashioned deal. Anyway, I didn't like the last one. I didn't have too much to work with. Just because it was, the game was currently in development at the time when he reached out. So he just wanted to get all the things in motion while he's going at it. But, so I did what I can with what information and what little assets that were at my disposal. I mean, he was still working on it while he was reaching out to me. So I did what I can. I gave him a couple of little designs, as you saw early on in the start of the little speed painting video. So I did a couple, and he liked this one. And actually, I really liked this one too, just because the composition and all that. But also, I tried to make sure that I left enough room for like the logo of the game. So, which was also, being developed at the time. And he was nice enough to let me do things in my own style. The last time he reached out, I was doing things I was trying to make it like, suited for like games and game artwork and all that. I was really in a comic book kind of mood. So I tried to say, hey, can it's okay if I just do things in a comic book art style? And he said, yeah, go for it. And that's how I ended up with this little line art look. Granted, if I went full hog comic book art style, I would have had a lot more black lines, thicker lines, and everything. But the thing is, with doing anything that's promotional artwork, you want to let the colors show out, because otherwise it kind of comes off as like false advertising. So you really want to have a bit of a balance whenever you're making something. So I tried to have a little bit of a balance, so I didn't go like too crazy, because the game is not done in a comic book art style. It's done in its own art style. So I had to balance out my own personal aesthetics with the game aesthetics. Unfortunately, like I mentioned earlier, I didn't have too much to work with, so I just I tried not to get too crazy. Like right here with all the black lines you're seeing, that's as crazy as I really got. Everything else I tried to keep it relatively simple, so that way I could just that way you could still register with the actual game itself. Not to mention they also had a color palette, which you'll see here in a bit. So he had had a color sequence to work with. So I did that as well. It's fun to do some of these little concept arts. Granted, I don't know. He was working with I think they were. I'm not a game designer, so I don't really know all the ins and outs. I can't even pretend to know any of this stuff. So I just sort of, he did his thing and I did mine. See, there's the colors. So I tried to work with that particular color scheme, which is actually, it's not that hard to work with a limited color palette. In case you're a digital artist and you're wondering, like what do you do when you don't have that many colors to work with? You can make it work. It's fun. Sorry, that's a little art ramble there. Which is what I do in a lot of these videos, partially because, the video is playing in the background as I'm recording, so that way I can see what all is going on. So, but like with the other video I did, or the other artwork I did for him, I didn't have too much information or time to really work on it, so I had to work within the time constraints, which was, I had a bit more time. I'm not going to say, like, last time was like a bit of an emergency. The game's ready, but I mean, he needed something to go with it. So, I mean, that worked out. So, and here I go with doing my thing, playing around with this, trying to make things work. Usually when I do colors that are sort of in a comic book. I try to keep things relatively limited in the color scope. Predominantly, I'll just put on what they call a flat, and that's when I just put all the colors where they're supposed to be. And then on a separate layer, I'll just use like a very dark blue, and then I lower the opacity down to like 30%. And then if I need to do something even darker, I'll do another layer and do the same thing, do a dark blue and 30%. That way, everything's just sort of universally in the same shades, and I don't have to do too much messing around. That's how you do things super fast, because if you're doing things in comic books, well, sometimes you have a lot of crunch, because comic books are supposed to be done fast. You just have to get them out there. So sometimes you have to just sort of, find quick ways of doing things. With this one, of course, I didn't really have to do that, because, you already have a color palette, and you already have the things to work with, and you have to, show off artwork for the game. Now, at this point, because they were still working on the various different enemies, so I didn't know what all was there. So I only got like a couple of screenshots of what they had to work with. So, and then some things I didn't have any information on, like the purple tentacles, because you said there's going to be purple tentacles in the game. So I just had to add them. I didn't know what. I thought, well, we'll have them wrapping around there and show a guy that's our main character, or the player character, in a very bit of a sticky situation. Like how do you reload a gun when you got tentacles wrapping around you, and like a demon about ready to just start gnawing at your legs. Also, he mentioned that there were zombies, but I didn't have any zombie pictures to work with, so I just thought I would do hands. So I did the best I can. Although looking back at it now, I'm like, this is a thing with a lot of artists. You tend to see things and think, I could have done better. I could have done better with those zombie hands. Maybe add a bit more. Actually, but looking back at it, that would have been more work for me, and I think it's probably for the best I didn't follow through on that one, because otherwise it just would have taken a lot longer than it really needed to be. Even though there are times I kind of wish I could take more time, but that there's sometimes that their limitations are kind of good, where I'm kind of glad I didn't have to go back at that. I could have, though, but that's okay. It is what it is. Towards the end of the video, you're going to see that he also asked me to help out with some other projects, like doing some art asset within the game, predominantly in the bag, the inventory, like the bullet inventory, and I think it was the missions in the top right. Unfortunately, when he had that one, that was really hard, because there was a lot of ideas that were floating about, and nothing had been concrete yet. So I just came up with a couple different ideas. Like I just did like a big satchel with a bunch of bullets in it, and I was gonna have like different calibers. What I wanted to do was, because I didn't know what kind of weapons were going to be in the game. Like, here we go. Here's the little heart stats in the bottom left of the screen. That's supposed to do health. I actually did a bunch of them, and as the health would go like lower, the heart would get more and more squeezed, and there'd be like more blood going out. So I thought that was a kind of little that was my little add-on to that. And then as for the bullets, I mean, that was another one. So yeah, although I've come to realize that when it comes to doing like anything gore oriented, like a heart spit out blood and all that, I really didn't have a lot of skill in that. I didn't know what I was doing, which is a bit of a problem, but it's a good problem, because you then learn stuff. It's just a shame that you're doing it with someone else's project, but luckily it all worked out. So yeah, but I also had to keep it in line with the art style of everything else. So I'm doing all that bit of a cross hatching in from darks to lights, and then I have to do it over and over again for each heart. So I'm drawing the same heart in different states over and over and over and over again. But I think I actually liked how it came out overall. But then I didn't really stop to think about how the heart was going to look and all the other kind of effects. And there was the reference there in the top left. So yeah, there you go. That's what I had going on. I don't know how accurate it was, because I'm not a gun guy, but you learn as you go. Anyway, that's it for now. Y'all take care. See you again. Bye.